This is the Breakaway. To those watching on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, welcome along. On the final day of the Vuelta a España, the stage win was taken by Fabio Jakobsen, but the race definitively belongs to Primož Roglic, a man who will go down in the history books as the first Slovenian to win a Grand Tour, and who delivers on the promise he showed us when he first switched to cycling 6 years ago. A pro since 2013, the former ski jumper is now very definitely a champion cyclist. It is a huge day for Slovenia, with Roglic on the top set, Pogacar on the second, with not a bad old filling in that sandwich, Alejandro Valverde in second spot. As you can see, Matt, Bradley and Brian are alongside me for our final breakaway of the season, gentlemen. Don't shed a tear. Matt nearly is. Bradley, what a race. What a race this has been. It's been a privilege, hasn't it?
It's been superb, and I think every Grand Tour we've done this year has been superb to watch, sitting on this side of the fence. But the Vuelta in particular, this last few weeks, I think we've seen everything, haven't we? But for me, it's been a race of the young riders. You know, the James Knoxes, of course, Teo on British soil, but, you know, what Tadej... Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, we nearly got there. Tadej Pogacar.
Pogacar. Tadej Pogacar.
That's it.
What he's done the last few days, well, the last 3 weeks, of course, but we thought it was the end the last few days. You know, a few days ago when, you know, Juan Miguel Ante Lopez was attacking, and
we were doing so well.
No, but that was, you know, anyway.
What about Valverde?
I promise he hasn't had anything in the break.
No. But just what those guys were doing, you know, he distanced Pogacar the other day, and we thought that was going to slip away. The white jersey was going to go to Lopez, but yesterday, 36 kilometres he went on the run into the finish. We talk about taking risks as a rider and attacking and never knowing what you're going to get out of it. He personified that yesterday and climbed onto the podium, and of course they're sandwiched by Alejandro Valverde, which, you know, I've raced with him for many, many years. He's an absolute legend of the sport, probably one of the greatest all-round bike riders of our generation. But these are the two, and Primož is 29 years of age, but this is the future of cycling now. It's certainly in Grand Tour riding. I think Primož can go on from here, but Pogacar, I mean, it's scary to think what he might achieve in the next 10, 15 years. And
incredibly exciting as well. We've got a tweet in from Peter, who says, Yates blows up in the third week of the Giro, then wins the Vuelta. Roglic blows up in the third week of the Giro, then wins the Vuelta. Discuss, Matt.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I think both of those riders, if you look at the way Yates attacked the Giro last year, and if you speak to Matt White about why they did that, he didn't set out to win the Giro D'Italia, he set out to win stages and ended up with this kind of runaway lead, but you know, he just couldn't sustain. And we saw this year Roglic kind of ride with the same sort of aggression, and it was difficult to see how he could sustain that momentum. And then this race, he's ridden it completely differently. Hasn't dominated on the road. He's basically saved himself, followed the right sort of wheels, impressed in the individual time trial, and just ridden a far more measured race. And I think both riders have learned and come on to win this. And this, you know, I think for Roglic, I think will set him up for further victories in Grand Tours without a shadow of a doubt. But two distinctly different races, which both riders have learned a lot from.
And Brian, when we look at the range of wins that we've seen over the course of this race, and the podium emblemizes that, really, when you've got Alejandro Valverde, the oldest rider in the race, in the second set. We've got Pogacar, the youngest rider, in the third set. We've seen both of them win stages. Jakobsen today, just 23. Philippe Gilbert, 37. We've had all ranges. It has been a race for the ages and for all ages.
Yeah, it's been pretty historical. You remember back in the Irish day where you had... Roche in the jersey.
As if I could forget.
You know, Bennett winning the stage, and then Jakobsen winning his first stage, as we were saying, but Sam winning his first stage in the Vuelta. And it's been firsts and historical moments throughout the whole Vuelta. This Vuelta, of the 3 Grand Tours, this has been the hardest when it comes to vertical metres climbed, so it's not been easy for everybody. And you know, there's so much to pick from it. Then we've seen Madrazo winning the stage for Burgos. That was exceptional. Phenomenal. As well. It's all the way through. We, as commentators or pundits, you know, I've been in cycling many years. I know it doesn't show, but I've been in cycling many years, and it's not always been as entertaining. Every stage of every Grand Tour, even in the Tour de France this year, there were stages where it wasn't that exciting. But this, I don't think there's been much downtime. The downtime stages have been crosswinds, and it's just been every day there's been something to watch.
Has been a thrill from start to finish, and one man thrilling us from start to finish, Tadej Pogacar. Here he is with Florian Chabal.
Tadej, how is the feeling now? First experience in a podium of the Grand Tour. How is that?
It's really unbelievable. I still can't imagine that I was just standing on the podium next to world champion Valverde and one of the biggest Grand Tour riders, Primož Roglic. They're really, it's incredible feeling.
How is that also to be in the same podium with Primož, two Slovenian, is something amazing also for your country?
Yeah, it's really amazing how much we moved in cycling in Slovenia, and to be on a podium, two guys winning one, and yeah, it's really impressive.
How do you see the future now?
I don't see the future, but I will stay calm, and yeah, I think a lot of great Slovenian riders will also come.
You're gonna have some rest, or you have some objective until the end of the season?
Yeah, I ride World Championships Elite and Team Time Trial Relay, and then off season try to relax.
Thank you very much. Congrats again.
What's lovely listening to that, Bradley, is the way he was giving such respect and seemingly in awe, really, of the riders who shared the podium with him. And yet he has been riding fearlessly with no respect, and that's really exciting to watch.
Yeah, but I think that's the great thing about cycling now. There's a lot of talk from the older riders now about this sort of almost lack of respect in the peloton now, and the younger riders not respecting the older riders anymore, and no matter who you are, there's no inches given in the peloton now. But do you know what? I, as an observer now, I think that's not a bad thing, because we get rides like that now. He's not frightened to attack the traditions of cycling and put the race to us, because that's what gives us the best viewing yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as the bells peal over the skies of Madrid, let's hear from the man of the night, the man of the Vuelta a España, Primož Roglic.
Primož, in the past couple of days, we felt like it was so hard to finish the Vuelta, but this time it's done and dusted. Is that a different emotion?
Yeah, finally, it was about time. Yeah, I'm a little tired, and just great feeling that we won a nice race in cycling.
How different is that? It's your first Grand Tour victory. How different is that respect to a one-week race?
Yeah, the difference is it takes obviously 3 weeks, a little longer, a little more normally problems with everything. So really happy that we finish it off.
I see you really tired. You seem to have really had a long way to win it.
Yeah, it is still, let's say, a lot easier than third place in Giro D'Italia, but let's say like that, still now I have a lot of things to do, and I'm already thinking about all other things, not just enjoying this moment.
How are you gonna celebrate?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Of course, I need to do the doping control. I need to go to the toilet, and then I think about other things.
And a bit of family time.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Yellow cowboy boots.
I want to tell you what, smiling sits Primož Roglic. He'll be doing plenty of that tonight, whatever else he gets up to. Gentlemen, we're nearly at the end. What has been your highlight, quickly, Brian, of the last 3 weeks?
Undoubtedly, meeting James Knox and getting to know him is by far my highlight.
Bradley?
Well, I was going to say, actually, it's just seeing Teo and James Knox come in here. We've built such a little studio here that is kind of an outlet for them, and just the way that they've kind of almost want to get in the studio, some sort of perspective on the seriousness that happens out there.
What about you, Matt?
Mine was the same as those two, really, but I think Tadej Pogacar, just 3 stage wins, podium, 20 years of age. What a future, and what a pleasure to see that lad flourish in this race. Just wonderful stuff.
It's going to be quite exciting next year, isn't it? 2020. Looking forward to it already. Before we get there, we've got one final tweet from a cunning cyclist who has, I think we can bring it up on the screen, who has, well, I think so, but asking, can either Orla, Brad or Matt before the end of the Vuelta mess up Brian Smith's hair, please? It's Lego hair. He takes it off at the end of the night and puts it beside his bed. Oh, Brian!
There we go.
This is
like John Lydon.
party Brian in action. Well, I have to say, this is our final breakaway of the season. It has been an absolute privilege sharing these races with you and sharing the studio with all of you. Bradley, for your passion, for your insight into this sport, for your humour along the way. I think we'll work on your Northern Irish, accent maybe. Brian, thank you for the hair, for the accurate predictions every day, for putting up with all the Mickey taking as well. Matt, for giving us the human insight to the riders on the road at the start of the day, at the end of the day. And his wonderful curly box. For everyone who's joined us in the studio, Adam, we've had Nico over the course of the Grand Tours. We've had Simon Guerin, Simon Richardson, Dan Lloyd, to all the team here and back in London. A huge thank you to everyone who has been watching and sharing this journey with us. We truly appreciate it. It has been a joy. Well, we're not quite done yet. If you do want a little last bit of Vuelta fix, then you can catch the highlights of today's stage at 10:30 if you're watching in the UK or Ireland. That is on Eurosport 1. Tennis fans with the Laver Cup to look forward to on Friday. That's at 5 minutes to midday BST on Eurosport 1, while we go off to shed a tear and get our dancing shoes on. This has been the Vuelta a España. We have been your Eurosport breakaway crew, and that is it for the Grand Tours in 2019. The biggest smile of all tonight belongs to Primož Roglic. It's been a blast. Thanks for watching.
Coverage of La Vuelta on Eurosport is sponsored by Zwift, where fun is fast.
Eurosport's coverage